We all do mistakes in our photography, no matter how beginners or advanced are we as photographers. It's normal, it's natural, it shows that you are human. But are you making these specific 5 mistakes that I'm going to speak in the next few minutes? Hi, I'm Toma. I'm a full-time landscape photographer. This channel is all about landscape and travel photography. So if you're interested in the subject, make sure to watch this video and subscribe to this YouTube channel for more. I'm very much aware that my favorite subject in landscape photography is represented by the forest. So I thought, why not coming to the forest, making a photo shoot and showing you these mistakes and how to correct them. The B-roll that you're going to see today is going to be shot on this. It's the AK2000 Gimbal from Feiyu Tech. It's a tool that absolutely won my heart. I think I'm in love with this tool. I will use it as much as possible, and I think my video will go next level with this.
The day is breaking softly and the night is glowing true. I feel a million eyes, but I can just see you. No rain, no thunder, it's just your light, your voice, the heaven of our kiss, the wonder of our choice.
Before we begin the talk, make time to use the comment section below and tell me what mistakes are you making in your photography. And after that, make sure to watch the video to see what I think are the most common mistakes when doing landscape photography inside the forest. The first mistake is that you have too much in your photo. If you enter the forest with a wide-angle lens, be very careful what you include in your photos. Sometimes having the entire landscape in your photos may look good, but sometimes it makes it harder for the viewer to realize what you're trying to photograph over there. A simple way to correct this mistake is to zoom in on your point of interest or subject and then slowly zooming out. As elements are entering your photo, you start asking yourself, is this element needed? Is this element needed? This way you can very easily decide if an element is needed or not for a composition, and it also trains your eye and trains your brain to understand how to compose subjects and elements inside the forest. The second mistake is the lack of a strong composition, and you get chaos instead. People usually think that inside the forest it's very hard to find strong compositions, mainly because everything in front of you, it's trees. Trails in the forest or big fallen trees can form interesting and powerful leading lines, so you have to learn to observe these and to use them in your photos. Let's find 2 compositions, one where the trail is the main leading line and then where we find the fallen tree and use the trunk of the fallen tree to create a compelling and interesting composition. Here we have a very interesting situation where the trail kind of goes like this, and then it switches to the right and then a little bit to the left. It's not going to be the strongest leading line that you can find in the forest, but it's going to be a powerful way in which you can emphasize the road and you can emphasize the forest. It seems that I'm not going to find the fallen tree. I don't know why, but I didn't find the fallen tree. Mistake number 3 is a poor understanding of light. There are 2 situations. One, you can be in the forest and there is light everywhere. Find subjects that are in light and try to surround them with darkness. Right now the sun has exited the clouds, and as you can see there are spots of light everywhere. So I will concentrate only on this tree and have the darkness of the forest help me separate. The second situation is a moment like this where you have an overcast day or a foggy situation in the forest where the light is kind of diffused, and that is the moment when you can also use a wide-angle lens and you can use basically tunnels of darkness that will lead the attention towards light. Over here we have a situation where there is this tunnel of darkness, as you can see, and this tunnel leads to the area where there is light. And I think this is a very interesting way in which we can photograph the forest, because it helps focus the eye towards the destination. Mistake number 4, close-ups of elements that are not interesting. Just like in the case where you're using a wide-angle lens and you frame everything, you include too much, you can also use a telephoto and include small elements that are not interesting. It's the same error, the same mistake. What you need to do is to focus yourself on elements that are interesting, trees or other elements of the forest that have interesting shapes. You also have to pay close attention to the background of this shape, because if the background is lighter, it will draw the attention from the subject. Another good thing would be to use an open aperture just to have the background blurred. In this way, you have a much more better separation between the subject and the background. Mistake number 5 is not using the polarizer in a situation like this where there is no actual sunlight. The sun is not visible, but there is a diffuse light. Also in foggy situations, people don't use the polarizer. I think it's a very big mistake. Even though the light is diffuse, the direction of the light, it's visible, it's readable, and that is why the polarizer works. And also the leaves, as you can see, they're having some shininess on them. So use the polarizer, rotate it. If it's working, it's working. If it's not, you decide by yourself. And mistake number 6, which is a bonus. Make sure you choose the perfect location. As you can see, the forest where I'm right now, it's pretty interesting. It's not a boring forest, but if you have a forest with narrow trails, trees that are very close to each other, chaos, trees that are not interesting enough, you have trails that are only straight, you don't have windings, you only have clutter, that would be a very bad forest to photograph in. These were the 5 mistakes that I wanted to talk about. Please use the comment section below and tell me if you also do these mistakes. If you made other mistakes, just share your story in the comments below, and until next time, bye bye.